Washington entered the race, and Chicago would never be the same after the campaign began. The 1983 Democratic primary was one of the most contested in the entire history of the city. Washington ran against Byrne and Richard M. Daley, the son of the legendary former mayor. The vote split, creating a three-way race that kept the entire city on the edge of its seat. Washington won with 36%, just enough to take the primary and move to the general. The general election became one of the most racially charged political contests in Chicago history. Washington's Republican opponent, Bernard Epton, ran a campaign with a slogan that carried a dark subtext. It was widely understood as a thinly veiled racial appeal, deepening the divisions within the city. Washington won with 51.7% of the vote, securing a historic victory for the city. On April 12, 1983, Harold Washington became the first black mayor of Chicago, changing history. The celebration that night was unlike anything the city had seen, with joy spilling into the streets. People poured into the streets, united in a moment of triumph that felt like a new beginning. But winning the election was only the beginning of a long and difficult road for the new mayor. What followed became known as Council Wars, a period of intense political gridlock and confrontation. A block of 29 aldermen, led by Edward Verdoliak, systematically blocked Washington's agenda. For nearly 3 years, Chicago's city council was a battlefield where every vote was a fight. Every appointment, every budget, and every initiative became a struggle for the soul of the city. Washington called it a simple question of who would control the future of Chicago for years to come. Washington won that fight too, proving his resilience against the constant pressure of his opposition. In 1986 special aldermanic elections, his allies gained the seats they needed to break the stalemate. The council wars ended, and Harold Washington finally began to govern with a clear mandate. He opened city contracts to minority and women-owned businesses, expanding the reach of the local economy. He pushed for neighborhood development, prioritizing the needs of residents over downtown megaprojects. He built coalitions across racial lines that Chicago had never seen before, creating a new political map. While the political battles raged, a cultural explosion was happening in the neighborhoods of Chicago. The blues had always been here, a deep tradition carried north by the Great Migration decades earlier. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, and Buddy Guy had made Chicago the capital of electric blues. That tradition didn't disappear in the 1970s and 80s. It deepened and diversified in the clubs. And then something entirely new was born in the early 1980s, a sound that would change the world.